Dialysis is tough. And when we're first starting out with dialysis, it can be very scary and very overwhelming because we're going in blind, not knowing what to expect. So here's 5 things that I wish someone had told me about dialysis before I started. The first thing I wish someone had told me was to learn the functions of the machine. When I first started, I had no idea what the nurses and techs were talking about, so I fully entrusted my care into their hands. And I know a lot of them have great intentions. A lot of them do a great job taking care of us dialysis patients, but you yourself need to know exactly what your machine should be set on, what time you're getting on and off, how much fluid they're pulling. You need to know exactly what those nurses and techs know. The second thing that I wish I knew when I first started dialysis is that I had an option whether or not to get a fistula in my arm or keep the catheter in my chest. I ended up going with the fistula because I felt like I had no option. And in terms of the fistula, I also wish I would have told the techs that were sticking me to spread out the different sticks each time, not to focus in those same designated 2 areas because it'll start to develop a lump or multiple lumps on your arms, which can be, not very fun to look at. So that's the second thing that I wish I would have known when I first started dialysis is that I had an option to keep my catheter, and if I was going to move forward with my fistula, I needed to know how to best take care of it. The third thing that I wish I knew when I first started dialysis is that what I eat and the amount of fluid that I drink affects how my treatment is going to go. So if I have a fluid restriction of 2 bottles of water a day, if I disregard that and go over it, I'm gonna pay for that treatment. Um, the more fluid I take off during treatment, the rougher it's going to be afterwards. Same goes for my diet. So if I'm eating cleaner, eating my renal diet, then the treatment is less rough on my body and I feel better for it later. The fourth thing that I wish I knew when I first started dialysis is that there's a whole community of people similar to myself, in similar situations to myself, all over the world on social media, ready to support you in any way that they know how. Um, it's called the Kidney Warrior Community on TikTok. Um, we're there to all share our stories, share our experiences, support each other. And I'm sure the same goes for other platforms like Facebook as well. So that's the fourth thing that I wish I knew when I first started dialysis. The fifth thing that I wish I knew when I first started dialysis is that it eventually gets better. When I first started, those sticks in my arm used to hurt so bad. They eventually stopped hurting as bad. I used to be so tired at the end of treatment. Now I'm not as tired as I once was. And that's due to, adapting, my body naturally adapting to treatment, but also learning these different things that I'm trying to teach you all, like eating right, staying within my fluid restrictions, things of that nature make this whole journey easier. And it gets easier mentally as well. So that's 5 things that I wish I knew when I first started dialysis.